Echo Lima 87. This is 100 watts and a wire.
Well, here we go again. Amateur radio amplified on 100 watts and a wire. It's Christian. My call sign is Kilo Zero Sierra Tango Hotel, K0STH, coming to you from Sarasota, Florida, in the USA. Number 418, friends. We're 418 episodes deep. And I took a couple of weeks off, and I'll talk about that here as we go. I'm going to talk about what some people are working on as fall enters our situation, and I'm dealing with a much different fall that I'm used to back in the St. Louis area, and that's okay. That is okay. The temperatures are actually warm and muggy, and we've had some rain over the last couple of days as I'm recording this. The time leading up to this recording had been glorious. Beautiful temperatures here. I know it's getting cold, so I won't tease you over the weather, my friends. I will not tease you over the weather. I want to update you on a couple things going on in my life. And we've talked about my move, my continuous look for employment in Florida. If you own a company down here on the west side of the state, holler at your boy. Even better if you're listening from anywhere in the world and need a remote worker. Call me. Things are a little bit slower down here. We're pushing. We're just going to keep on pushing. And as my father-in-law would say, just keep casting. He was a fisherman. Loved to fly fish in Montana. And I said was because last Monday, suddenly he had a stroke on Monday. And early Monday morning, and passed on Monday night unexpectedly. A good man. And we will certainly miss him. I knew him for 25 plus years. And he taught me how to fly fish along the Madison in Montana. And I always appreciated his positive demeanor. He was always optimistic, very supportive. Just keep casting. And it will stay with me all my days. With several other things, he's given me great pieces of advice. And old Jerry Welch will be missed by all of his family and his friends. So that's a reason why I could not hit record last week, and I hope you understand. I know you understand. Before that, again, as I said, the work hunt here in Sarasota continues, working and looking for work anywhere in the world that I can do remotely. Ideally, production work, podcast producing, teaching students how to podcast, any of those things. That's what we're looking for. All the way down to working on the estate's gardening grounds. So it's all things. I'm listening to all things at this point, but we're maintaining. Thank you for your support as we've gone along. A lot of questions are coming in, and I'll start to answer those slowly on the show here. I'd like to get the boys back together, do some live streaming for you. That's another topic I need to talk to you about. But I'm coming back to YouTube slowly. I want to do this very organically. I don't want to stress myself out over YouTube. Frankly, it can be a mind F if you let it. I don't want to let it. I think if you love radio, amateur radio, community, bang. Come on. Look for us on YouTube. Look for us on TikTok. Look for us on Facebook and join the Discord server. It's open to everybody. I hope you'll join us there. Everything will be growing slowly. But I need that in my life right now. I'm okay. As a gardener, I'm okay with slow growth. We will let it grow. I want to talk to you about my 7610. I've got an issue. It's sitting in a box right here. That's bumming me out. And I know you're saying, damn, see, child, it sounds like you have just been kicked in the gordos and life just won't leave you alone. And my brothers and sisters, this could not be any more accurate. It has been a rough patch for sure. For me, my girls are doing fine. My wife is doing great in her new role in her leadership position here in Sarasota. I'm very proud of everybody. For me, it's like, dude, he's in his early 50s. I don't know. Man, I'm like, we got some ageist stuff going on here. So I know I fit in quite well with the rest of you lot of old timers. I got a little FM HF. We got HF. Let's put HF on and find something. I've had it on. It's a lot going on. I'm recording this on Friday the 13th. And with the way my luck has been going, I am not afraid. I will find a frequency. So we'll let that go. That way it doesn't annoy you with any digital stuff. If you're new to the show, welcome, friends. The title of this podcast is 100 Watts in a Wire. We've been kicking it since 2015. You don't have to run just 100 watts in a wire. You can have 1,500 watts in a Yagi. I don't care. Everybody's welcome. It's taking us back to our roots. Many of us start with a 100-watt radio or less. Some are more, 150 watts. I don't know what you can get out of those rigs. And a wire in a tree. It is 100 watts in a wire. Come as you are. My thanks to BioNO Power. BioNO Power supports this program for several years now. They sell the best lithium phosphate batteries for your ham radios. Visit bionopower.com. That's BIOENNO power.com. Appreciate their support. Where to go first? Oh, I was talking about social. Questions have been coming in, and they pretty much do. They come across Facebook, email, see them in Discord from time to time. And now we'll probably get more questions on YouTube. And if you're stuck, just reach out. I may not have all the answers, but I'll go to somebody who may have them. I'm only 11 years or so into this right now. We've got connections to people 40 plus years that know much more. I do not pretend to be the arbiter of ham radio. There's so many great people doing it. I'm a broadcaster. I'm a podcaster. I am a producer by trade. Love amateur radio. And will use my skill set to try to package it up so we can share this information and grow together. A lot of gardening references today. There you go. So the 7610... I'm trying to make things sound like it's not so woe is me. There are some things going on, and I'm in a rough patch. I'm slowly pulling out of this now to get back to what I love doing. It's serving you guys, the community, sharing this love and of the service and the hobby. We're in a rough patch. My 7610 started to go on the blink, and you're saying to yourself, what do you mean, huh? That's what I'm saying, huh? You know, it's a expensive radio that has a display issue right now. It needs to be boxed up. It's taken out of line. I'm on backup on the 7300, which is a fine radio in itself, but it's not the 7610 that I paid for and depend on in the front line. Hopefully I'll box this thing up, send it to ICOM before too long. Right now, I'm holding. I have a backup radio. It's cool. I will box this up. Let them know it's coming, but I got other things to pay for. Rewind and you'll understand. I made my first contact, at least in the log, since July 20th. Friends, I mentioned it is October 13th. Friday the 13th. Again, I'm not tripping on that. I'm not superstitious in that way. I worked Pastor Joe, who was doing fall camping. Talking about the frozen Gordos. He's out there in the 40 degree at night temperatures in his hammock camping, doing radio and living life. Way to go, Pastor Joe. Thank you for the contact from Sarasota, Florida, up to New Jersey. It was nice to get back in the logbook. I looked at the last contacts at July 20th. I miss Route 66. What else? Many, many contests. But you know what? I'm at that point now where I feel I've seen this happen in other people's lives, and where they've got to put it down for a little bit. And I've put it down in waves. I put it down for a few months last year. And took some time this summer. Probably 22, we took a couple months break, 8 weeks. And then now with the move and you uproot your whole life, I know somebody else who's going through a move. They're going to be moving. And you just have to realize that it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time to kind of get acclimated, to make connections, to, just do your best to prepare. Find a spot where you can get a simple antenna. I don't have everything I had in Missouri. Man, I had so many antennas. They were going everywhere. 8 antennas up there, 160. I was spoiled. I wasn't taking it for granted, but I had space. I had time. Moved down here. I got a 20 and a 40 meter off-center fed dipole. 40 meters leaves me right around 11 o'clock in the morning here in Florida. And can't work 80. It's a band I like. I guess if I get myself some wire, I'll do it. I got the radio on. I hope it's all right with you. It would be better if I could get something on frequency. That would be good. Anyway, making the contact was nice. Felt good to get up to New Jersey. He was in a park, and I appreciate that very much. A couple other things I want to talk to you about. One is buymeacoffee.com and do the backslash of 100 watts. 100 watts will get you to our membership opportunity. Only one level, $5 a month. Essentially $1 an episode, if you think about it that way. On a good streak, when I'm rolling, I could bang out 4 in a week. I could bang out 4 in a month. Your contribution goes directly to offset the cost of production. Production is not cheap. I have a problem, speaking of Pastor Joe, asking people for help. But this has been a community-supported podcast since 2015. If you get value from it, consider making a donation. You can pay all at once. You can give as much as you want, or set it up where you do a monthly payment. Consider it, friends. That would be awesome. $5 a month is cheaper than your Starbucks coffee. I know you drink the Sanka. Stop playing. Come on now. Still costs, it's cheaper than that, huh? Got a couple things to think about in terms of expenses. These ham radio expenses, not my rigs, anything like that. It's the cost of doing 100 watts in a wire. I'm considering doing a live stream where I stay on, maybe make contacts and do a fund drive. I don't know what to do here, but I've got a payment coming up for the website. And I get to these points, like, all right, it's $120 for whatever, WordPress, whatever. I'm going to keep the domain, my email, whatever. But the podcast, the website, is it that important? When you've got a YouTube, you've got a Discord, you've got a Facebook, those all really do act as gathering places. I know having a website is good, but I don't know. At the tune of $120, I see the numbers and the traffic, and I wonder, is it worth it? That's the next thing coming up. At the beginning of November, I have to decide. And if I decide we can't cover it, because there's other things that we got to do, the podcast, blah, blah, blah. That's the first thing that's coming due. And I have to figure out, all right, do we want to keep it? That can be a community decision. All the support and the sponsors, and we do have sponsors. We give each month, members. People are members, and they give money every month. That goes to the cost of platforms and software, and you name it. Do we need a 100 watts in a wire website? And I think the money will determine, frankly, is it something I just, don't want to maintain anymore? Can we get by with YouTube, Facebook, Discord, and pass information there? Probably, and I might. That's where that is. You're talking about a State of the Union right here. But frankly, when I'm not working, I have to look at my costs. No money coming in. I don't need any money going out, especially if we're not really using it. So there you are. That's what's going on, man. This is life right now. There's a park. Now, some of the people who are finding us for the first time, they might be thinking, this is a different kind of contest. I want stuff and information. Well, it's mostly a kind of a community thing. I do want to share some news from our community that's much on the lighter side of town. I think I told you what we wanted to do today, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what projects you may be working on in the fall. Mickey says he's starting to learn how to do split mode operation. He says he's been at this for 14 or 15 years, but he hasn't learned how to work split. So I'm supporting Mickey there. Go ahead, Mickey. You can do this. Best thing to do, know where your radio is transmitting. And your split operation, you know, you're gonna figure this out. You're listening on one side and transmitting on another. Two different frequencies, and it gets really fun when they're moving. Up 5 to 10, you're like, Then you look at your band scope and see where people are calling, and you try to place it there. Hopefully you're doing it with a push button and it's easy enough for you, but I remember doing it with my old Drake TR7. Spinning, rotating, VFO, and took some skill. It's good. You can do it working split. It's very advantageous when you're trying to work the big ones. Eric, he says he'll be working the 4-state QSO parties this weekend. And he's hoping to go for a clean sweep in the state QSO party. You can find that at stateqsoparty.com. Michael says he hopes to sign into his home repeater net from his workplace. It's about 40 miles. It's the first time he's got to work when the net is happening. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Golf Echo Romeo. You're 5'9". Tim says he's going to work helping run the 62nd annual Hoosier Hills Hamfest in Bedford, Indiana this Saturday. All right. He's Kilo Bravo 9, Sierra, November, Lima. His 100-watt ID is 2191. That right there, the 100-watt ID portion of the website is the most important piece. If we I'll keep the domain again. If for some reason I don't keep the web service up and the website's just sort of down for a while or whatever, I will figure out a way to share a way to submit your entry to get a 100-watt ID, and we'll share that on the YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, on the Discord. So we're in places regardless of if we have a web address, you know what I'm on. Lee says he's going to finish a new Gap Titan DX and get it mounted. That just sounds sexy. Chuck, he said Saturday afternoon, I'm headed to a nearby club for a fox hunt and cookout. Should be fun. He's never done a fox hunt before, and his wife is going with him. Mickey said he's going to go and prepare for the upcoming Jamboree on the Air event. It takes place October 20th through the 22nd. More than 30 scouts are ready to get on the air. Dave, Kilo Bravo 5 United Tango Yankee, says he'll be working the Eclipse with his local Aries group. Thank you for your service, Davis. David, even. Davis is somebody different. Michael Moore, he'll be in Caryville Hunt, Texas, in that area, doing the Eclipse Zone operating for most of the day. He's also going to be operating and participating in the EQSO party, Whiskey Alpha 5, Alpha Zulu, Quebec. Ari says he doesn't have much time to operate on Saturday. He wants to work the Eclipse event, do a little bit of PODA on Sunday. All right, good luck there. Peter says he's volunteering for a safety net for the Lake Superior Performance Rally in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. He's November 0, Romeo United Golf. Scott, Kilo India 4, United Tango Mike. He's driving to Denver from South Dakota. Woo! He's going to be doing 2 meters in the truck. Gregory, he's going to be climbing my tower while I'm asleep and stealing my beam. I wish. Our electrician friend Joe in Wisconsin, he's going to be doing the POTA camp out. I like that. If it doesn't get rained out, I said to him, since when does the cold weather do anything for a brother in Wisconsin? I mean, he doesn't, they get out there in the real cold. Panagiantis Klimis. He's Sierra Victor 8. Papa, Mike, he's going to be working in the Mocrathian contest. Apologies, I butchered so much in that sheet. Mike Swift says if 10 meters is open, he'll probably get on in the AM portion of the band. He's Whiskey 4. India, Sierra Bravo. Kenny, he's going to Sparkfest in Sedalia, Missouri. He wants to know if I'm going to be there. No, sir. Long commute from Sarasota. Won't be making it this time around, but have a blast. Mike, he's going to be working the Pennsylvania QSO party, and he's going to be working as base station for a horse endurance event in Las Cruces. It's a marathon for horses, is how he likes to describe it. Good on you, Ed. He's been doing that for several years. I always enjoy his photographs. Ernest, he's going to be on the air with Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor. He's going to have breakfast with some of his buddies at the Seaway Valley Amateur Radio Club in Cornwall, Ontario, Canada, on Saturday morning at Spinner's Diner at 8:30. Give me a big, I'll take an omelet, an endless pour of coffee, maybe a splash of orange juice. We'll stick with the vegetarian side of things, maybe some pancakes. Okay? Maybe some pancakes, Ernest. Jeff says he's going and doing the SAC single sideband Scandinavian activity contest. Paul says he's going to tune his 10-meter antenna, quarter wave, and attend his local club, Sundowner, on Saturday night. That's the Northern Corridor Radio Club. He's Victor Kilo 6 Tango Papa. Lots of friends in Canada. S. Hillman says maybe a satellite pass, a little CW, and watching the eclipse. Bill, he's going to be teaching a technician class. He's Kilo India 5 Tango Charlie Kilo. Michael, he's going to be volunteering at the Scout Camp. He won't be able to participate even with the Ham Sai Festival of Eclipse. But he's going to be running Jamboree on the air next weekend. Good on you, Michael. Steven, we'll do a few more of these. He's going to be contesting this weekend. Scandinavian, Pennsylvania, Arizona. Alan, too, Ham Fest in his area. And a POTA activation on the way home. Sunday is the family barbecue. Kilo Golf 9, Papa, November. Many, many more. We'd love to hear from you. Catch up with us on Facebook. We're also on Discord. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and on the Tickety Talk. Tickety Talk. I will not dance and will not twerk there for you, although some of you may enjoy that. I'm looking at you, the 0.01% of the audience that is the ladies. I don't know if there's two ladies out there, but maybe, perhaps. Thank you to all of you for listening and catching up with me. I like to do these short bursts so you can get on your treadmill, take a nice evening walk if you like. Please visit buymeacoffee.com/100watch and consider becoming a member. All of your donations, except for the slight percentage that Buy Me a Coffee takes for their stuff, making the transaction happen, goes back into the show. Nobody's making money off this program. In fact, all we want to do is cover the cost, because at this point, I can't take money out of pocket. I can't loan the show money out of pocket until we're earning. We have to be member supported. Weigh in on this thing. Do we need a 100wattsinawire.com website? I own the domain. Do we need the address up there? It's not a bad thing, and you can still use it. Everything will link to our social media. You can go to Buy Me a Coffee by visiting 100wattsinawire.com. It's been there since 2015. I don't want to drop $120 if we're not going to use it, and I don't frankly have the money to drop on it, as I've said. So It's out there. See that, Pastor Joe? I listen to you. I tell the people what we need. I love this community. It is the best ham radio community in the world. If you have a problem with that, you can fight Sidecar Steve over it. I don't fight anymore. I don't want to fight. Y'all be good. Appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. And look out. Good luck the rest of the way. And by all means, if you can, please try and stay above the noise. Oh. If you have a question, leave a comment in one of our social platforms for me. Ask a question. I will see it, and I will address it here on the show. I'll bring the boys back. We're going to be talking. We'll do the live streaming. We're going to get it together. Positive vibes. Positive vibes going out. 73.
To join the 100 Watts in a Wire community, visit 100wattsindawire.com.